Hi, welcome to the Game Changers. So today there has been a good bounce in the market, but we've talked about yesterday as to what we were supposed to do. One of the situations has happened as to what we talked about yesterday. तो देखेंगे what's happened and we can also have a view for tomorrow. ठीक है? चलो, let's see what's happened. So yesterday we spoke about a scenario where there would be a valid setup if there was a gap up in the market and then a pullback and then a breakout. What happened was a gap up did happen, of course, but after that the 3-minute pivot happened here. This was a valid setup and this is the stop. Now, tell me the problem with this setup. The problem with this setup, even if it's formed, one should be very, very risk averse because the stop loss is nearly 360 points on a 3-minute chart, which is not ideal. So what one should do after price has gone in your favor and the 50 moving average has gone above your entry, you have to get your stop to break even, which is below this 50 moving average. So you should not be losing money on a day like today, right? Now, this is how we execute a trade and we try to save money. It is not about making money every day. For day traders, we get 5 to 6 days which are actually trending. Otherwise, it's just about preserving capital. That is why day trading is very, very, very difficult. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about positional trading and then tell you the view for tomorrow. Now, it is clear that we are in lower highs and lower low structure, right? But this pullback has been steep such that the super trend has become green. Now, so it is a space of limbo, as in it is below the 50 moving average, but the super trend is green. So it is a bit of sideways. What we have to do is be careful in terms of now on the downside. We know that this is today's potential. Potentially, this is today's. What we want is price to break it convincingly, consolidate, and then do a follow through. This would be a valid setup for shorting. But I tell you, even if it's a valid setup, what I would do is I would short with half the risk. Why? Because overall, Bank Nifty on a daily time frame is still above the 50 moving average. So when I short here, I want to do it with half risk. Once price starts closing below this and this point, that is when below this level, that is when we can be a little bit aggressive in day trading. Otherwise, we should be little bit conservative and do it with half risk. On the upside, for that matter, it's been a doji kind of day. So if we have a move which sustains above this 50 moving average, then only we will look for long. So on a 3-minute chart, what we would want is price to convincingly break out, do a 3-minute pivot, and then break the highs. I'm going to draw that again. We would want price to convincingly break the high, previous day high, make a 3-minute pivot, and then break the day's high. This would be a valid setup. But here the important thing is convincingly breaking the highs. It is very important. Now, We've discussed multiple scenarios. What if none of the scenarios happen? What we should be doing is not trading, waiting patiently. On the upside or the downside, especially in Bank Nifty, positionally there is still some time because the Bollinger Bands on the hourly time frame are still very wide. They need to squeeze a little bit for you to get a nice move on the upside or the downside. So now it is not the time to be very aggressive. Okay, I'm going to catch a bottom or I'm going to catch the breakdown. No, it's time to be conservative and preserve your capital. Chalo, bye. See you tomorrow.